हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम बैक टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल शिक्षा सखा। आज मैं आपके लिए लेकर आई हूँ क्लास 8 इंग्लिश की सप्लीमेंट्री बुक इट सो हैपेंड का लेसन 7 जिसका नाम है जलेबीज। इस वीडियो में हम लेसन की समरी, टेक्सचुअल क्वेश्चंस और ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप क्वेश्चंस करेंगे। पिछली वीडियो में मैंने आपको लेसन 6 द फाइट की समरी, क्वेश्चन आंसर और ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप क्वेश्चंस करवाए थे। अगर आप मेरे चैनल पर नए हैं और अभी तक आपने मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो प्लीज़ मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लें। मैंने अपने चैनल की प्लेलिस्ट में सब्जेक्ट वाइज लिस्ट डाली हुई है। आप जिस भी लेसन को देखना चाहते हैं मेरे चैनल की प्लेलिस्ट में जाके देख सकते हैं। तो चलिए पहले पार्ट की शुरुआत करते हैं। सबसे पहले हम पार्ट की समरी करेंगे। Once upon a time, when the author was in 5th standard, he carried 4 rupees in his pocket to give to Master Ghulam Muhammad for his school fees and funds. The master happened to be on leave that particular day, thus he was entitled to submit the amount the next day. When school got over, the 4 rupees worth coin in his pocket began speaking, although coins only go khanak khanak. This time they actually spoke. They diverted his attention to the hot and fresh jalebis being made by the halwai. The boy resisted and told the coins that he was supposed to show his face to Mr. Ghulam Muhammad the next day and also to Allah Mian at Qayamat. This made the coin unhappy and they began making a lot of noise that in turn attracted public attention. He clenched them in his fists to make them quiet, but the oldest coin told him that they only wanted him to benefit. The coin advised him to spend the 4 rupees on jalebi that day and pay the fees with the scholarship money he was supposed to receive the next day. The boy gave it a thought and decided to not to be swept away easily. He decided that for a child of such status, privilege and prestige, it was not right for him to be seen eating jalebis in the middle of the bazaar. Thus he went straight home. Upon reaching home, the coins began making a lot of noise which annoyed him and thus made him rush to bazaar to buy 1 rupee worth of jalebi. Those days 1 rupee fetched more than 20 rupees does nowadays. The halwai gave him a pile of jalebis in a newspaper. Upon seeing his Chacha John Tonga, he ran inside a gully and devoured the jalebis. Upon finding a safe place, after having devoured the jalebis, he found out that the boys from the entire neighbor has assembled in the gully. By that time, he was so pleased with his stomach full of jalebis that he got into the mood for some fun. He started handing out jalebis to the children around. Soon a whole lot of other children appeared. Probably having heard the good news from the others, he dashed to the halwai and bought 1 more rupee worth of jalebi, came back and stood on the chabutra of one of remaining 2 rupees as well and disturbed them. After having disturbed them all, he cleaned himself up and went home with an innocent face. It was not an easy task for his body to assimilate and digest the pile of jalebis as easy as it was for him to devour them. As often as he breathed, a burp came out of his mouth and he was scared to death with the fear of throwing out 1 or more 2 jalebis. Thus the fear was killing him. Besides, he couldn't say no to the dinner because it demanding an explanation. The next day upon reaching school, he got to know that the scholarship money was going to be paid next month. On the other hand, Master Ghulam Muhammad had made it know that he would be collecting the school fees in the recess. When the bell rang for recess, he took his bag and walked out of the school till the reached Kambelpur railway station. Being praying, he told God how a mistake has been committed by him and how he wanted to God to grant him 4 rupees only for this once. He asked Allah Miah to keep 4 rupees in his bag. He offered Namzan, recited 10 surats, Ayat al Kunsari, Kalma e Tayyab, in fact, everything that he remembered. But when he checked his bag, he could not find a single paisa. He then went to the bazaar to wait for the school get over. This way, he would go back with children from home and school and avoid any suspension of having missed the school that day. The next day he went to the railway station again and sat on the same place. He prayed to Allah Ji to grant him money and at least he then decided to play a game with God. In this game he would go and touch the signals and come back, and in the meanwhile God was to surprisingly put money under a big rock. When he come back from the signals he first hesitated to check under the rock, but when he did, he only found a hairy worm beneath it. He got scared and ran away to the signal. When he come crawling back, he picked up his bag to leave but couldn't resist a glance under the rock once more. Obviously, he did not find any money, just Mr. Worm. On his way home, he made plans for how he would pray the next day. Upon reaching home, he find out that the news of his being absent from school and reached before him was happened after if is of no use of recount. Years later he couldn't that if Allah Miah were to answer all the man's prayer, then men would even today be living in nests like vultures and crows and bound not have learned the art of making of jalebis. अब हम करते हैं इसके क्वेश्चन आंसर्स. क्वेश्चन 1, व्हाई डिडंट ही पे द स्कूल फीस ऑन द डे ही बॉट मनी टू स्कूल. क्वेश्चन 2, फर्स्ट, व्हाट वर द कॉइन्स सेइंग टू हिम. सेकंड, डू यू थिंक दे वर misguiding him. Third, why didn't he take the coin's advice? Give 2 or 3 reasons. Fourth, first, what did the oldest coin tell him? Second, did he follow his advice? If not, why not? Question 5th, he reached home with the coins in his pocket. What happened then? Answer. First का आंसर है the boy couldn't pay the school fees on the day he brought to school because the teacher Master Ghulam Muhammad was on leave. Second, first, the coins in the boy's pocket urged him to buy hot and fresh jalebis. Second, yes, the coins were misguiding him because the money was meant for paying school fees. Third, initially the boy didn't take the advice of the coin seriously for a couple of reasons. He could not spend the money meant for paying school fees on jalebis. Secondly, the boy knew the harsh nature of the master and the punishment. Fourth, first, the oldest coin convinced him that they were telling him for his own good he can pay his fees next day with his scholarship money, so he should not surprise his desire for jalebis. Second, he didn't follow his advice. He was a promising student. He was from a good family of repute. He didn't want to get defamed for it. Fifth, answer after reaching home, he couldn't suppress his temptation for fresh jalebis. He rushed to the shop of halwai. He bought jalebis and enjoyed them. Question first. First, why didn't he eat all the jalebis he had bought? Second, what does he do with the remaining jalebis? Question 2. The fear was killing me. What was the fear? Question 3. Children's stomachs are like digestion machines. What do you understand by that? Do you agree? Fourth, how did he plan to pay the fees the next day? Question 5th. When it is time to pay the fees, what does he do? Is he disobeying the elders by doing so? इसका आंसर है First, he had bought jalebis for 1 rupee, but he couldn't eat all of them because of the quantity. Second, he distributed the remaining jalebis among the boys from the neighborhood. Second, he had eaten so many jalebis that there was a problem of digesting all them. His fear was that one jalebi or two would come out with a verb. Third, it means that children have the capacity to digest a lot of things that they overeat. I agreed with the statement but only partially. Fourth, he planned to pay the fees the next day when he would get his monthly scholarship. Fifth, when the time draws near to pay the fees, he tucked her bag under his arms and slips out of the school. He had disobeyed his elders by crossing the railway track. Question 1. What was the consequence of buying jalebis with the fees money? Second, his prayer to God is like a lawyer's defense of a bad case. Does he argue his case well? What are the points he makes? Third, he offers to play a game with Allah Mia. What is the game? Fourth, did he get 4 rupees by paying all the gains? What did he get to see under the rock? Fifth, if God had granted his wish that day, what harm would it have caused him in later life? Answer first. As a result of spending his fees money on jalebis, he had to absent from school for the first time in his life. Second, he tries to please God with his request and the recitation of the entire namaz. He admits that he made a mistake. He wouldn't have spent money on jalebis if he had known about the delay in scholarship. Thus, he argued his cases like a lawyer. Third, the game is that he would go up the signal, touch it and come back, and in the meantime God should put 4 rupee under a big coin. Fourth, no, he didn't get 4 rupees by playing the game. When he lifted the rock, he saw a bomb instead of coin. Fifth, if God had granted his wish that day, he wouldn't have learnt a lesson to do no wrong in future. He would have been like a bird and learnt no skill. Question. Select and read sentences that show A. That the boy is tempted to eat jalebis. B. That he is feeling guilty. C. That he is justifying a wrong deed. इसका आंसर है A. Jalebis are meant to be eaten and those with money in their pocket can eat them. But then, these jalebis are no common sort of jalebis. They are crisp and fresh and full of syrup. My mouth watered. I rushed out of the house barefoot and ran towards the bazaar. B. My head started to spin when the recess bell rang. I tucked my bag under my arm and left the school. Now, for the crime of eating a few jalebis for the first time in my life, I was absent from school, sitting under a tree. At first, I felt like crying. C. I didn't eat them all by myself. I had fed them a whole lot of children. Allah Mia, I am a good boy. I have memorized the entire namaz and the last 10 surahs of Quran by heart. Question 2. Discuss the following points. A. Is the boy intelligent? If so, what is the evidence of it? B. Does his outlook on the Jalebis episode change after class 8? Does he see the episode in a new light? C. Why are coins made to talk in this story? What purpose does it serve? इसका आंसर है A. The boy is definitely intelligent. The first evidence is that he was on a scholarship. He is a promising boy. He knows what is right and what is wrong. He argues his case before God like a lawyer. B. Yes, his outlook changed after class 8. He later realized that nothing comes without a price. If God were to grant all one wishes for the asking, the man would not learn any skill, he would be no better than birds. See, the coins are to talk because they reflect the conflict going in his own mind. अब हम करते हैं इसके ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप क्वेश्चंस. क्वेश्चन 1, हाउ मैनी रुपीज़ द बॉय हैव? ऑप्शन ए 5 रुपीज़, ऑप्शन बी 40 रुपीज़, ऑप्शन सी 4 रुपीज़, ऑप्शन डी 20 रुपीज़. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी 4 रुपीज़. क्वेश्चन 2, हु कलेक्टेड द स्कूल फीस? ऑप्शन ए मास्टर गुलाम मोहम्मद, ऑप्शन बी अली मोहम्मद, ऑप्शन सी सूफिया, ऑप्शन डी नन ऑफ दीज. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए मास्टर गुलाम मोहम्मद. Question 3, what is the meaning of khadao? Option A, boiling, option B, cooking, option C, large open knot, option D, for cooking and boiling. इसका आंसर है option C, large open knot. Question 4, how does the boy hold coin tight in? Option A, hand, option B, wrist, option C, fingers, option D, none of these. इसका आंसर है option A, hand. Question 5, what is the opposite word of prestige? Option A, disregard, option B, disrespect, option C, both A and B, option D, none of these. इसका आंसर है option C, both A and B. Question 7, who helped a pile of jalebis on the newspaper? Option A, mason, option B, halwai, option C, doctor, option D, cobbler. इसका आंसर है option B, halwai. Question 7, what is the meaning of blabbering? Option A, taking confusedly, option B, talking sharply, option C, talking slowly, option D, talking speedily. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, talking confusedly. Question 8, what is the real problem in the end? Option A, payment of school fees after time, option B, payment of school fees after time, option C, no problem, option D, none of these. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, payment of school fees after time. Question 9, who were jumping and screaming in the gully? Option A, children, option B, boys, option C, girls, option D, people. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, चिल्ड्रन. तो यहाँ पे हमारी वीडियो ख़त्म होती है. अगली वीडियो में मैं आपको लेसन 8 एंशिएंट एजुकेशन सिस्टम ऑफ इंडिया करवाऊँगी. तो ये वीडियो आपको कैसी लगी मुझे कमेंट करके ज़रूर बताएं. वीडियो को लाइक करें, शेयर करें और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें. थैंक यू.